Hey YouTube, this is Alex with Crystal Child 6D. I am a practicing neurodivergent ABA therapist here in Idaho, and I'm also a clinical mental health counseling student. And today we are going to talk about 7 ways that we can manage anxiety. For those of you who don't know, anxiety is actually one of the most common mental illnesses. It affects around 40 million adults worldwide, and it affects about 7% of children ages 3 to 21. It's also, if you're here watching this video, you may know, a pain in the butt to deal with. I personally suffer from anxiety, and it's something that I have to kind of work at a little bit each and every day. So today we're going to talk about some of the tips and tricks that I found helpful based on the research and just based on my own personal experience that can help us manage anxiety disorders. I'd say the first one is instead of resisting our anxiety, because that's our tendency to do, I think it's one of the most natural kind of human things. When there's something uncomfortable, we're like, nope, not today, Satan. We don't want to face it. We want to avoid anxiety. But as you may know, what we resist often persists. And research shows the more we try not to think about something, a lot of times the more we end up thinking about it, and the worse or the bigger that it gets. So I feel like one of the things that's helpful um, for me is accepting and trying to understand my anxiety. Because if you can get to the root cause of why you're feeling anxious, sometimes there's a solution that can help. I personally have some trauma around food, and had some abuse in my childhood around not being able to eat because I am autistic and I was a very picky eater. So sometimes if I didn't eat what was for dinner, I wouldn't be allowed to eat things and I would steal food. And so sometimes my inner child feels really anxious. And until recently, I didn't really realize why I was feeling anxious. But as I started to accept and understand rather than resist that feeling of anxiety, I realized that I was just worried about not eating. So now I just bring a snack with me everywhere I go and it helps. That's a helpful way, I think, of managing anxiety. You know, sometimes maybe you've had a past trauma where you were bit by a dog or something like that, and you're feeling anxious around a certain area because there's dogs. And I think as long as it's not affecting your ability to carry out your life, being able to avoid some of those situations that cause anxiety can be helpful. So turning into your anxiety and accepting it and trying to understand it can be a big tool in helping manage your symptoms. Another one is journaling. So research has shown what we worry about, only about 3% of what we worry about actually comes true. And so um, when if you can journal and write down all the things that you're worried about, even just for a month, and measure what came true, like what outcomes actually came true that we were worried about, can be a powerful tool in kind of helping us distance ourselves from our anxiety, because when we're identified with those thoughts and they feel very real, like it's a potential threat, it can be very unnerving. But I think as you over time start to kind of challenge those thoughts and just let them kind of flow and realize that most of them won't come true, it can help reduce your symptoms of anxiety, can help reduce some of the distress that you feel. Another big one, the third one, I would say is grounding. I really like grounding. For those of us who have anxiety, a lot of times when it's really bad, especially, we can get a little bit dissociated and kind of check out because of our anxiety. And I feel like taking a deep breath and kind of sinking into your anxiety and doing some different grounding exercise is a great way to help manage things. There's several ways that you can do that. I personally like to just do some deep breathing and kind of sink down lower into my body. Instead of like being up here all anxious, I'll try and sink down and just relax, and start noticing like what's happening in the present moment. What can I hear? What can I see? What can I touch? That's a powerful grounding technique. Breathing exercises are really helpful, especially meditation. I think meditation can really help us be able to calm our nervous system and learn to relax. I also like listening to peaceful music or binaural beats. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of binaural beats, but the way it works is you need headphones. But in one ear, you'll play like a frequency that's 15 hertz, and the other ear, you'll play a frequency that's 12 hertz. And the difference between the two will adjust your brain waves accordingly. So it'll adjust them to 3 hertz. And there's 4 different brainwave states. There's beta, theta, alpha, and delta. And when you're in anxiety, you're in a high beta state. So you're anxious, you're thinking about things, your nervous system is in kind of overdrive, and you have a strong sympathetic response. So listening to binaural beats or some peaceful music to kind of bring you back down into that theta and that alpha can be a really powerful tool in helping you relax and manage your anxiety. And I would say the last one is just limiting stimulants and caffeine. Anything that sends your sympathetic nervous system into overdrive is going to be a trigger for anxiety. So getting enough water and replacing water with sugary drinks and caffeine and things like that can definitely help reduce some of your anxiety symptoms. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a great day.